Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today with Bibi Me. So today guys, with my husband for update in about the land.
Yep. And so you have not uploaded a video for almost 5 days.
Yeah, almost 5 days.
What's the problem, young lady?
Because I have migraine.
Why?
Because I always thinking the land.
Are you relaxed now?
Little.
You need closure. Yeah, so what she's referring to is we both got spanked pretty good here with this contractor, and unfortunately the list keeps growing of people that have been victimized by this guy, and we can't say his name due to what's it called, cyber libel, but anybody in Dumageddon knows who we're talking about. And so just ask if you want to know. Believe me, there's plenty of other videos out there that are talking about it. Where were we at? There's two issues, I suppose, that we're dealing with. Number one is the build itself, and we've just resigned ourselves to the fact that it's not going to happen. On my channel, I'm going to do kind of a deep dive into a meeting that we had and what was said and this and that and the other, but that's another video for another time. On her channel, what we're going to go over is the physical effects that it's having on both of us. We're both getting a little testy. Thankfully, it's not with each other. It's just in general. And so she physically got sick. And she's prone to migraines anyway. Yeah. And so much thinking. So there's good news, bad news. The bad news is we're never ever going to see that money that we put down again. And the good news is, well, I think both of us have come to a place mentally where we've just accepted that as a fact, and it's just not going to come back, and it's over with. And I put a pencil to it, and I said, it's about 6 months worth of work that we lost. Not money. It's 6 months worth of money. That it takes us 6 months to make that much money.
Yeah.
And so we're just figuring, okay, in 6 months we'll make the money back, and then we'll be kind of even. Not really, but you know what I mean. We're trying to make ourselves feel better some way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, there's over 50 people that have been taken for more than us. And this morning we're heading out early. We're going to go down and meet with a group of them to an entity down in Dumageddon because apparently there's more and more shenanigans that this guy has pulled, and some of them quite recently. And it's just a shame. I've nicknamed him Bernie Madoff because he's running a pyramid scheme and a Ponzi scheme, and we got pinched on our money. Like I said, let's call it 6 months worth of work between doing YouTube and my Social Security check. That's basically what it comes down to. But other people, I hate to report, lost their life savings.
My God.
Yeah. I mean, worked all their life, or most of their adult life, and unfortunately one or two people gave him all the money up front for the house. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's been smoked. It's gone. It's history, and they're left at Bernie Madoff. If you know, she doesn't know who Bernie Madoff is, but you do if you're in America. And it's the same thing. It's just wiping out elderly people. And so we're feeling somewhat blessed in that we haven't been wiped out. So what's our plan moving forward? I'll spell it out real simply. It's completing the necessary documents to get a building permit on the property, because that was never done by the contractor. And we have had 3 complaints that I know of filed against us because we're building without a permit. So we smoothed things over with that last week. Last week we spent 2 days in a row from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon racing around getting all this stuff. I think we're about 75% of the way there. And then tomorrow, she just told me, we're going to go down back and hopefully get it finalized
Yeah.
so that we can have a building permit, a fence permit, water, and power. Will they all come on the same day at the same moment? No, but we'll be on the path. If we get the building permit, we're home free in my mind. What we are going to also do is take a step back. We are not going, this will probably be one of our last videos regarding building because we're not going to be doing any building. What we're going to do and what our last video will be for your channel at least is, because I have some more stuff to say on my channel about some other topics related. But for this video, our plan moving forward is to get the permit and post it. Put a fence around the property, chain link kind of fence, inexpensive. Already got some prices. Some friends sent me some contact information that they did it and they used this guy, so I'm happy with him. It's like $200 to have this guy put him some posts and then put chain link around it with a gate, and I was thrilled at the price, and that will prevent squatters from coming onto the property. If you don't know what a squatter is someone that can come onto vacant land. They set up camp, and if they're there long enough, they can make claim that that's their home, and then it's all hell getting them off the property. So that's what we need to do. We need to get the property vacated. I think there's a couple of one or two workers that, they're just living there because there's a barracks there, and they got nowhere else to go. And we have fed those guys, by the way, just sidebar. We bought them some food and gave them some money. And told them, don't do any work. You're not getting paid. They're also not getting paid. So I said, don't do any work, man. You can crash here for a few days, but after that, we're going to have to, change things around here. Go buy yourself some food. And just trying to do the humanitarian type of act with them. And then the other priority is going to switch. Once that's over and done with, okay, good. We're not going to even think about building probably for another year. And like I said, 6 months at least just to recoup the money. And then we'd probably, then start looking into it again. We need to lick our wounds for a while and gain our trust back. To be quite frank with you, we don't know who to trust to do what. So I get a lot of advice, but I got advice prior, and look what happened. Anyway, that being said, we're working on the title. Okay, that's the good news. There's two separate things going on here. There's the purchase of the land, which we've already paid for, and then there's the building part of it. The building part, forget about it. It's not going to ever happen. It's over and done with. We lost the money. We've mentally taken that out of our checkbook and just said, okay, it's over with. The land, the only thing we want now is the actual torrent title in our hands. And she's very smart. She wants that. That is very important and super duper value also. Because if hypothetically we were going to sell the land, which we're not, but if we were going to sell that land, and you can pick up a piece of paper and say, look, I have the title to it. It just needs to be transferred into your name, Mr. Buyer of our property. That's worth a ton of money in and of itself, because there's all this doubt when you purchase a piece of land and it's got the proverbial mother's title, where there's 20 or 30 or 40, who knows, signatures that are required. It's got to go through all this and death certificates, and it can take years. And you may never get a title. I mean, it can just get hung up in all these weird laws and bureaucracies that they have out here in the Philippines. So that's going to be the primary focus. The original lawyer, she's in contact with him. We're not going to say his name.
I think last month.
No names. Okay.
I think last month.
Last month he said it'll be 2 to 3 months.
So I think next month. Hopefully.
So she's hoping for next month. I think that's optimistic, but that's okay. We did go down to the Hall of Records, for lack of a better word, Hall of Titles, and saw that the prior title was clean. And there was no issues or encumbrances or people on it. And the ones that signed off on the paperwork that we did almost a year ago are the same names that are on that copy of the title.
Yeah.
But Dumagetti's got a copy of all these titles. And then...
But the people Jane told me is clean title is so easy transfer to my name because plain title is not mother title.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So I know it's easy to transfer, but the only contention I make is getting it through the system, signed off, and then returned to you. So it should be simpler than it is, but we're experiencing it. We're living it. We started this whole rodeo a year ago, and so we should be getting it. Sidebar, they tell us that to get a title can take up to 2 years. Some people, I guess, get it in 5 or 6 months. It just depends on the luck of the draw. I imagine if you were one of the guys that bought a property and the owner that you bought it from had the title in his hand, like I just described, that would be the case. It would get sped along a lot quicker. So, that being said, once we have that, we know it, we're relaxed, we're going to just perimeter off the property, forget about it for a while, and then there won't be any more videos to talk about because we won't be doing anything. However, it's affected our attitudes, and so that's the thing we're going to focus on. I'll give you an example. I am always try to be as cordial as humanly possible when people talk to us in public. They recognize us from the channels.
Yeah.
And we were running around one day working on all this stuff, and it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I had been driving all day. You'd been hopping in and out of the car. I was trying to find parking places. I guess I'm complaining, but you know, it was just one of those hardcore days doing these nicky-nacky stuff that turned into big deals because she had to run in. I couldn't find a place to park, and that happened like 5 times. So by the time it was all said and done with, I just needed to sit and decompress, and so did she, before I made the last leg home up the hill, right?
Yeah.
So we were going to chill out and let rush hour kind of do its thing, and then after that we were going to get back on the road and go. So I just went for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And a guy sat down across from us. And I'll circle right back to that in just a second. Yesterday a guy sent me a link to a YouTube channel that I was not aware of. And it was some dude talking about this situation here in Dumagetti because so many people are involved in it. And I was listening to him, and he was just bloviating about, it was a bunch of he said, she said stuff. The video itself had no real content to it. It was just him saying he heard this, he heard that, and then when he said something like, as far as I know, the contractor might be a nice guy. I said, well, obviously you know nothing, so why am I watching this video? And I went to click it off, and May just walked by and saw the guy's face, and she goes, hey, that's that guy from the coffee shop. And I said, I still clicked it off. And I said, and I went to the thumbnail, and I said, this guy? And she goes, yeah. I said, I don't remember him, because I don't remember faces, and I really am bad with names. But she goes, that's the guy that was bothering you when we were trying to have coffee and relax.
Yeah.
So what this guy did was, like I said, I was having a cup of coffee. May was on her phone. We were just trying to chill out and decompress before we went home. People will come up to us and say hello. We're always trying to say hello. A lot of times they say, sit down, let's shoot the breeze for a minute, even though I may not be in the mood for it. And that's that. We just try to be polite and cordial. Well, this dude pulls up a chair next to us and just starts teeing off on how he doesn't like Dumagetti.
Yeah, I said, I don't like Dumagetti.
Right? And it was the guy in the video. And I didn't know it when I watched the video. She did, but I didn't recognize him. And my response, normally, if a guy sat down and said those exact words to me today, for example, and he said, I don't like Dumagetti. Well, I've heard that before. And I have always said the same thing. I said, well, it's not for everybody. I commend you for coming out and checking it out and taking a look around, kicking the tires, taking the proverbial test drive around, seeing if it's a fit. For some people, Dumageddon really fits well. You know, I think people like us that are kind of settled down, it's more of a family town than anything else. And for other people, it's hell on earth. They don't like the traffic. They don't like the this. They don't like that. They don't like the pollution. And it's got all those things too. We just deal with them, and some people can't. And neither one's right and neither one's wrong. But I was in such a mood that day that when this guy says, I don't like Dumageddon, and it's and May was laughing in the car afterwards.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm really proud of you because you just told that guy the way it is. And I said, well, then why don't you just get the F out? Plain and simple. I did not sugarcoat it. I did not say, yeah, it's not for everybody. It wasn't my hopefully usual cordial, relaxed self. I was just on pins and needles after all the drama and stress and angst. You've had a 5-day migraine from it all. It's time to put that in our past and let it go. And hopefully we're going to do that. Today, and we're on the road to that. We're on the road to recover. To sit here and tell you that we're fully 100% chipper would be a lie. But I would say that we're 75% of the way in acceptance mode of just saying, we lost some money. We learned a lesson.
Yeah, you need to learn and you need to observe the people.
And you have to, yeah, that's true. And you've got to really look for those subtle signs. She, I will freely admit, is a lot better at picking up on BS than I am. And she can smell it on somebody. But when we got in the car, you were laughing. You go, boy, you really told that guy.
Yeah, because you
And she told me he deserved it. You know, he was just rude.
Yeah.
He just sat down, didn't say hello.
No.
Didn't say, how are you? Didn't say, my name is.
Yeah.
He just started unloading on how much he hated our little city. And it's not our city, but where we live, you know, the city that we reside in. And I just said, well, dude, if you don't like it, get the F out. Didn't faze him a bit either. So I don't know where he's from. He's got some kind of accent. But it just sort of bounced off of him. And then after about 5 more minutes of me shutting him down, because he kept trying to not retract, but he kept trying to retort and come back with his argument. I just had the same answer for him. Dude, what are you waiting for? There's the door. Go. Get out. Get out now while you can. Go back to wherever you came from where you think it's so great and live your life. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'm going to have a cup of coffee with my wife. Nice to see you. Not really, but nice to see. And he left. We got rid of him. I got rid of him. And then in the car, she was, she always holds back, but she said, wow, that was pretty good.
Because I confused why he don't like Dumageddon, but he's here, right?
It doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
Other than the fact that some people will come and look to check it out and see if they do like it. That's my point. You don't know until you actually come here. And there's towns that you and I have gone to.
Yeah.
Iloilo, Bacolod, Siquijor, Cebu, Angelo City, all these places. We've been to, we've kicked the tires, as I like to say, and we didn't float our boat. But I didn't run around and bash it. I just said it's not for me. You know, that's good for them, but not for me. So, or us. And I'd ask her, I go, how do you like it here? She goes, I don't. I like the restaurants. The only place she liked was Thailand.
Yes.
So, but we can't live in Thailand. We
Thailand
can go visit.
is like always, every day, always Christmas.
Every day's Christmas to you, huh?
Yes, in Thailand.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah.
You you can wearing there anything. People don't care.
Yeah, she feels a lot of freedom there. No judgment, no people looking at you, nobody, no chismis.
No chismis.
Not all the
no gossips.
Filipinos can be very backbiting and yippy with each other.
That's true.
And I watch it all the time. It seems like every week there's a gaggle of girls and then one gets cut from the herd, you know, and she's picked on. We watched that recently with a good friend of ours who will remain unnamed. But there was a little cluster that she was with and they were having a great time. And then one day somebody dropped a bomb on her And what do you know? The crowd changed. Men don't do that out here. Not that I see. They'll just ostracize somebody like that. But that's one of the things about the Philippines I don't like, about the Filipina culture I don't like, is the character assassination that goes on in a minute. And it's the, what's it referred to? Crab mentality. They see somebody getting higher or climbing up and getting out of the bucket and achieving a few things, and they want to drag them back down to their level.
Yeah.
They get jealous.
Yes.
But that's another story for another video.
But I love my country because I'm born in the Philippines.
And I love it here too.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to leave this video. We love it here in the Philippines. We've had our bumps, we've had our bruises, but that's called doing life. All right, so we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you guys, and thank you Daddy Paul for always help me to my YouTube channel.
Not
And
a problem,
guys,
baby.
See you next video. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.